Thank you for joining today's webinar of Digital Transformation Club USA. Today we'll be talking about digital transformation in retail industry, and we put together a great panel for you. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I'm with Bimser International, and I'm the managing director of company. Today with me there is Venu Gudlapalli. He is the CEO of Tag and Track company, and he is with us. Also, we have Umut Altınay from ETG Consulting. He'll be also talking about digital transformation today. And I have my colleague Sam Watt with me. He's a member of our software engineering team. He's with us. So he'll be talking about facility management in the retail industry. And before we jump into the details of digital transformation in retail, I'd like to give you some information about our club and how we are basically operating nowadays. First of all, we have these webinars periodically, and what we do is we have a YouTube channel called Digital Transformation Club USA, and when you go to the playlist of the YouTube channel, you can see the recording of our previous webinars. So that's also a great source for you to review and watch whenever you like, and you can also share with your colleagues. Also, we have coming up webinars in coming months, so we invite you to register for our coming webinars on Eventbrite. We'll be talking about how to adapt digital transformation in manufacturing industry. We'll be talking about how to use smart sensors and other technologies in healthcare industry. Also, we'll be talking about quality management standards, as well as how to develop digital transformation strategies in different industries. So these are coming up, and it will be great if you can join us in coming webinars as well. Great. So I'll be the first to get started, and then I'll hand it over to my fellow panelists today to talk about how to adapt digital transformation in the retail industry. So, company is Bimser International, and we are an enterprise software maker since 1998. We are based in New York. We have in other parts of the world. We are a SAP certified vendor, Microsoft vendor, Acumatica ERP vendor, and also we are pretty active in Sage and Oracle ERP systems. As Bimser, we are ISO 9001 certified and ISO 271 certified. And in total, we are about 200 people. As you see on the screen, we have 4 products. We have EBA for workflow and document management. We have BEAM for asset maintenance and facility management. We'll be talking more about it. Actually, my colleague Sam will be talking more about it. We have QDMS as quality, risk, and compliance management. And finally, we have Ensemble as a business process management tool. We also recently developed a solution called Contract Manager for companies to manage their contracts. We have been working in many different industries with different companies. These are some of the reputable references that we have. We work with 3M, Bridgestone, Unilever is one of our customers. We work with United Nations, for example. We work with Starbucks, and they are benefiting from the technologies that we have for companies to use to adapt digital transformation in different industries. I also talk about a little bit about digital transformation before I hand it over to Venu. So we have different definitions of digital transformation in different sources. So this is, to be honest with you, this is from Harvard Business Review from the August 2019 edition, page 96. So digital transformation is adapting an organization's strategy and structure to capture opportunities enabled by technology. It's clearly actually defined in one sentence. So yes, technology is very important. However, we need to also develop strategies for companies to basically take advantage of the opportunities coming from the technologies, right? So in that sense, let's talk about where we are as a company, and then how we're going to design a strategy for digital transformation and what kind of technologies in the market to adapt digital transformation. We'll talk more about this in coming webinars about developing strategies, but we like to actually take this definition into consideration when we are talking about technologies and how we can actually utilize them in different organizations. Of course, there are benefits of digital transformation. First of all, we'll be more competitive. We're going to reduce cost, and we'll be more productive as a company. That's definitely for sure. And we'll have a chance to increase our customer satisfaction, increase sales and profitability. It's because we're going to enable the technology. We're going to use the technology in a way that's going to enable our company to take advantage of opportunities in the marketplace. We'll be more competitive. That's very important to keep it in mind. All right, so that's brief introductions of our company, Bimser International, and a very brief introduction to digital transformation. So what I like to do is I like to hand it over to Venu Kutlapalli from Tag and Track company. They are experts in traceability and they have great technologies, as I've seen before. So I like to hand it over to Venu, and then we'll continue our panel as you see on the screen. Also, before I hand it over, I like to mention that we keep our contact information on the screen. So after this webinar, if you have any questions, if you'd like to continue this conversation, we welcome you to send us email anytime you like, so that we can stay in touch. Venu, are you ready?
Yes, thanks,
Great.
Kevin.
Sure, let me make you the first. Okay, great.
Yeah. So I can share the.
Okay, anytime you're ready.
Okay. Okay. I'm sharing.
Yes, we
my
can.
presentation.
Great.
Thanks, Kevin. I think you pretty much captured the summary. Digital transformation on retail is not one thing. It's strategy, it's technology, and how you want to actually start your transformation. And it's a journey to get on the other end with more profitability and success with the customer. And today, my focus is mainly how do you go about digital transformation, what technologies are out there, and how the technologies are evolving, and how do you strategize to deploy. So that's what I'm focusing for today's presentation, and I try to do it short so that we have enough time to discuss more in the Q&A. So with that, Tag and Track, we are a startup based out of San Diego, and we have our background is mainly in the wireless technologies, and we've been focusing on industrial IoT or retail 4.0 for digital transformation, and that's how we started this company, and we've been innovating in different areas. And with this presentation, you can get an idea how the technology is evolving, and you could pick the right approach for your business. With that, so why it matters. In this case, I just took some examples, like what would be the issues that you want to solve in the supply chain or in your retail. A lot of it starts with being location unknown. There's counterfeit coming up. There's a loss of material or your products. It's called diversion in the supply chain. Then you also have the inventory management. How much inventory is in the supply chain? How much is in the store? So you can get a real-time inventory and transform your whole manufacturing process to just-in-time rather than demand forecast-based manufacturing, which is an older way of doing your supply chain and manufacturing process. And the other parts of the business is, now one side is your supply chain, your sustainability, how do you trace? The second part is, how do we actually bring the retail experience along with the other parts? So if you are investing in traceability, how do you explain that to the customer in a more trustworthy way? That's one of the key factor for customer experience. And then also, how do you manage your store? That is becoming the key factor moving forward if you want to really differentiate in the retail space. What is happening currently? I just took some examples of how some of the brand retailers are trying to transform and what is the feedback they're getting and where they are. And this is where, as Kevin mentioned, the strategy and the technology is what defines how you transform yourself in the retail. So some of the key ones I want to highlight here is H&M started this brand called Conscious. It's a green label that they wanted to show that they're sustainable, environmental friendly, and they developed this brand called Conscious with a green label. But the problem with that approach was that they had the right intention, but they were not able to bring the transparency and trust behind that initiative. With that, what happened is now, people started criticizing that, is that actually correct? Or are they really sustainable? How can they prove that they're sustainable? That's one of the criticism they're getting. The other trend we're seeing is that the brands actually making sustainable itself as a fashion, so that people actually want to buy products that stand behind this sustainability. And then the other one that we're seeing is Ralph Lauren. They're actually taking step-by-step approach. So they started with traceability. So they are using 2D barcodes, which I'll talk about later, like how it can be used and how that can be used to first to show the entire digital transformation with a very simple 2D barcode technology. Then you bring in additional sensors and stuff that we can talk about. Now, if you map that into your supply chain, you want to be a circular supply chain, and then there are different touch points within your supply chain. So you start with raw materials or procurement. From there, you find your manufacturer for your goods. Then you take those goods and transport them, and then you go to a warehouse in a centralized place, and then you distribute into your retail. But each of these handoffs, they're geographically distributed, and there are different pain points at each of that handoff happens. So if it is raw material, then you have origination, transparency, and authenticity of that raw material you're procuring. Is it recycled? Is it sustainably procured? Is it organic? So those are some of the things that people look for. Then you go to manufacturing. Then is it the right manufacturing process? Is it sustainable? Is it carbon print low? How do you track? Then from there, you go into transportation and logistics, and then it reaches the shelf. But if you did invest in all the other points, when it gets to the shelf, how do you actually explain that to the customer that you did invest in all this and this is the right conscious product that you can buy? Those are the challenges that any retail organization right now is trying to solve end to end. And what I wanted to talk about here a little bit is the Jeffrey's hype curve. Usually, a lot of it's been like last 3 years I've been hearing this digital transformation, and you always go through this hype curve, and there's something called crossing the chasm. So we are currently at that right point where the technologies are coming together, and you can cross the chasm and get into the other side successfully. And usually what happens is when the hype curve happens, there are a lot of companies trying to offer some solutions, but then they're not fully thought through. So they start fast with the hype, but then they fall because they didn't capture all the requirements. So this is what is happening. So last 4 years, the industry has been trying to innovate with IoT, try to do different things. And finally, they're coming together to a place where what makes the right approach to have this digital transformation happen. So if you look at your supply chain, you have, as I explained, you have manufacturing process, then you have distribution, then you have retail, and then the e-commerce with reverse logistics. If you take the 4 segments of your supply chain, the way you would go about it is, you start with the type of technology you want to implement for your supply chain, then the type of how you want to gather that information in the cloud in a ubiquitous way that the end customer can look at your entire traceability or supply chain with a click of a button or scan of a code. That's how seamless it should be. If we make it too complex, then you lose the customer interest and they might not get the right experience. So the key is to implement this in a ubiquitous way, have a strategy that pick the technology for right for you, and then implement it in a phased manner so that your investments are not at risk. With that, the way I wanted to structure this is that how the technology is evolving. So if you look at it, initially the entire retail industry was focusing on barcodes or QR codes. I mean, it started with UPC barcodes, got evolved into QR codes, but then these QR codes were not standardized, so people were defining their own SKU numbers and UPC codes, and they would deploy their own method. But if you really want traceability, then there is a standards body called GS1. So the GS1 is a standards body where the retailers, food and beverage industry, apparel industry, and the pharmaceutical, everybody got together and they started defining how do we actually put a barcode that can be understood across geographies. Like if I manufacture this in China, I'm trying to sell it in US, how can the same barcode be read and understood across these interoperable systems throughout your supply chain? So that's how they came up with the GS1 codes. And that's your step one of the process. The QR code is like 2 cents to implement. We can transform into a digital twin in the cloud, and we can track it in certain points. But the disadvantage with that is the QR code only gives you the intelligence of what the product is, or we call it QID. It just gives you that intelligence only. You want additional intelligence, then you need to start bringing in other technologies in, and that's where the roadmap is evolving. So this chart kind of shows you like.
Hello, Venu.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Kevin. Sorry for interruption. You have 4 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So this kind of gives you the like an RFID, which was very well scaled. It's a passive, very cheap to deploy, but the infrastructure cost is significantly high. So it's good for a very specific application, but it cannot scale across your supply chain. The infrastructure cost is prohibitively expensive. Then in some cases, people did employ active RFID, but the problem is the tag cost is significantly high. With that, what we're seeing now is the industry Bluetooth, which started as an audio technology, has evolved over the past 10 years, and it now reached a place where they are designing this technology for retail, for digital transformation, for Internet of Things. And that is where we are focused on, and that's how the technology is evolving. So there are different options here. You have passive Bluetooth, like functions like RFID, but transmits in Bluetooth. Active Bluetooth, again, it's small disposable battery powered, and then it transmits again in Bluetooth. The good thing with Bluetooth is it not only provides the unique ID of the product, but also provides additional intelligence. So that's the key to this technology. And why that it's important is that the Bluetooth has a huge ecosystem. And it's almost like 4 billion Bluetooth devices get deployed in the worldwide, whether it's in house or in retail or supply chain, wherever this technology is being deployed, it's widely adapted and it's growing at 32% in this space. So we see that this is how the technology is evolving, and because of this ecosystem is there, your products can interact with other systems in the ecosystem, so it gets a better customer experience. Now, if you bring that to the last mile of your retail, where all you can use this. So you can use it in floor for inventory management, counterfeit, traceability, your sales process, and also your point of sale, where you can implement other use cases like a rental, post-sale, pre-sale, and also resale. So that's where the industry is been evolving, and we see that trend is going to catch up as more enterprises implement the sustainability and bringing the ecological problems they're dealing with, especially in the retail. I have like few use cases so you can see like what technologies to implement. As I mentioned before, the good first step is to implement a 2D barcode based standardized GS1 codes for traceability. This is inexpensive system. You just implement from your manufacturing onwards, you create a unique digital identity for every SKU you create, and then those SKUs are traced all the way to the retail. And by just scanning the barcode, the user can get from the origination how that product reached the retail and what type of carbon footprint it has, and all the traceability and sustainability trust that you can build. This is the step one of it. Then if you bring that to the store and you add some intelligence by bringing some sensors into the label, now you not only have the barcode, you added some electronics to the label so that it's now providing additional use cases. So this particular use case kind of talks about how the store management can be done, not only for back end of the store, like getting continuous inventory. You don't need to send a person to track all your inventory. These tags will automatically upload to the cloud every day. What's your inventory, average inventory changes. On top of it, if the user picks up a certain products, now you can implement additional customer experience use cases by recommending them other products that they go with it, the type of new inventory that came in, the sales information, the discounts, all that can be automated with the content. So it's very easy with the Bluetooth to connect with the content, because all the cell phones are already enabled with Bluetooth. So if your product is enabled with Bluetooth, automatically the user can interact with it by having a content app that's pulling the information. So this is another way of another display kiosk where you can do some of the user interactions. So this is how the technology has been evolving. And one of the use case I wanted to capture is who got it right. And we see this enterprise called Beta. I don't know if you guys heard of it. This is the fastest growing retail. When all the retails, last 1 week, we saw like multiple retails declare bankruptcy. But this retail actually is expanding. They are now at 72 stores worldwide, and they're growing at 30 to 40% year over year. Why they're growing? Where other retailers are trying to figure out what to do. And the reason why they're doing is that they are focused on customer experience, and they're combining the store experience with online retail so that the customers can come to the stores to experience the product, but then they can still buy it online. And the store is minimalistic designs, nice planograms, so people want to go there to enjoy or experience the product. So that's how we see that it is possible, and it's a very focused strategy that you have to adapt to get to a success. And with that,
Venu?
this is basically the summary.
Okay,
you implement the process proof, and you get the traceability, transparency, and trust. You combine these to get to a right retail. With that, I think we can have open to Q&A and have discussion.
Yes, definitely. So our Q&A session is coming up. Venu, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Very, very insightful presentation. Thank you so much. So what we'll do is we'll continue our panel, and we have Q&A session coming up and discussions. If you have any questions, we can definitely we can ask Venu, and also we'll have discussion as well. So Q&A session is coming up. Venu, thank you so much. Much appreciated.
No problem.
Umut, if you are ready, so let me invite Umut to introduce his company and the technologies that he has with Microsoft. Umut is with ETG Consulting. He is the business development manager. He is based in New York. So if he is ready, we'll hand it over to him. Umut, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Great. Let me make you the presenter, and you can take it from here. You have 15 minutes, and I'll let you know when 5 minutes is left. Thank you. We can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Umut. I'm working as a business development manager at ETG Consulting. And thank you for joining us today. Consulting company overview Dynamics 365 retail and commerce application. ETG Consulting was formed 20 years ago, and after 20 years, the result, it's a company that has become widely regarded as one of the new leaders in delivering Dynamics 365 ERP, finance and supply chain. While our goal is never to seek, recognition or awards, these Microsoft endorsements like Inner Circle, which means the first percentage of globally in Microsoft Dynamics partners, and Inner Circle or Gold ERP, Gold ISV, this helps clients understand, they are making a safe choice to partner with ETG Consulting. And we have 4 offices. I'm based in New York, as Kevin said. Our headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have office in Vancouver at the West Coast, and we have office in London for our UK operations, and we have office in Istanbul for our Middle East operations, and it's also our development center for our ISV products. So ETG Consulting focused 2 industries. One is manufacturing, the second is the retail. And our customers, retail customers, now live on AX or D365 F&O retail application, and there operates more than 4,000 stores today. And as a summary, ETG Consulting completed more than 120 full cycle AX Dynamics 365 ERP projects, and we delivered more than 20 AX upgrade projects. And as an ISV, we published 12 applications or services on Microsoft App Source. And ETG Consulting is part of IMCP. This is International Global Microsoft Partners. And we are part of Dynamics Pack, the biggest Dynamics 365 network in the world. And we are also member of Digital Transformation Club USA and HII-LI. This is HAPAC Industrial Association of Long Island, one of the biggest industrial region in the East Coast. After this short ETG Consulting overview, this is my first slide about my presentation about retail. And retail stakeholders face lots of challenges. Chief marketing officers, they need analytic tools to provide personalized, seamless experience across channels. Whether customers are in the store, online, or on mobile or social, or browsing a catalog. VPs of stores, they need to arm employees with up-to-date customer info and business intelligence in order to facilitate outstanding service. On the other hand, store managers want to make it easier for in-store teams to complete daily tasks. in an industry with higher than average employee turnover, retailers need to give employees tools that make their jobs easier. For merchandising directors, they need to keep up with rapidly changing customer preferences. Retailers have large volumes of data about customer behavior and product performance, but they don't necessarily have the right tools to take action on that data. COO, they need to keep the lights on by meeting demand on all channels, managing inventory efficiently, and preventing out of stocks. And finally, CIOs and IT managers, they need an easier way to measure business performance across all channels and gain a holistic understanding of channel performance and customer activity. According to the Forbes, nearly 3,800 stores are expected to close their doors by year's end. And you know what? This research was before the pandemic. So the retail landscape, as we know it today, is facing major disruption and fundamental change to the way the industry works. There are two main drivers in the market that have already redefined and will continue to redefine to entire retail industry. The first is the new digital customer and its constantly evolving wants and needs. The second is the technology that is fueling a more connected and global retail economy. The future of retail is about delivering a seamlessly connected customer experience across every touch point in the shopper journey. So connected customer experience. This is the keyword for the future of retail. And the new digital shopper, more than 90% of the shoppers, they state they use a digital device during their shopping, and more than 80% of that shoppers they believe that they know more about a retailer's product than the store sales associate. And more than 70% of the shoppers said that personally relevant content from brands increases their purchase intent. And more than 90% of the customers say purchase decisions are influenced by online reviews. Online reviews, they are so important nowadays. And lastly but not least, more than 90% of retail transactions still happen inside a store. Okay, we know the online still raising, but mostly retail transactions still happen inside a store. So how Microsoft approach to retail, it's grounded in these 4 pillars. This is firstly, know your customers, empower your employees, deliver intelligent supply chain, and reimagine retail. Know your customer means the customer's expectations, they are expecting personalized experiences, being recognized and reward for their loyalty, and a seamless across-channel great shopping experience. For retailers to meet this expectation, you need to know your customer. So this is part of our CRM approach and CRM application. The second one, empower your employees. In today's era of rising customer expectations, retailers who don't properly equip their employees with technology that allows them to focus less on, low value or backroom tasks like schedule management and more on customer experience, it will end up under delivering on expectations, which in turn negatively impacts to the customer loyalty. The third one, intelligent supply chain. It's impossible for retailers to deliver on the right product, right place, right time. So if they don't have any 360-degree view of their customer, their product development and inventory and the supply chain. So thanks to Microsoft new intelligent processes in Dynamics 365, this 360-degree view is easier than ever to achieve, meaning so you can increase your store operations, your supply chain efficiency and agility in your supply chain. The last one, the reimagine retail. And the most successful retailers are the ones who are embracing new technologies today to plan for their future. Digital capabilities that build the foundation to enable them to keep up with the ever-changing demands of customers. So why Microsoft? Microsoft has a strong cloud platform strategy that provides.
My apologies. This is Kevin. You have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Microsoft has a strong cloud platform strategy. That strategy provides built-in services to facilitate implementation, integration, and innovation across a global business market. And intelligent cloud and intelligent edge options, which Venu mentioned in his presentation. The edge means for Microsoft IoT technologies or connected technologies. And these options, to support multiple regularity and operational scenarios, and with proven track record in retail with embedded systems. And intelligent supply chain, this is intelligence across Microsoft Cloud Azure, Office 365, and Dynamics 365. So, for Dynamics 365, retail and commerce, we have modern, unified, intelligent, and adaptable applications in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So D365 are modules, business app that work great alone but better together. They allow to enable retail companies to reimagine their business processes and align their organizations and all stores. And Dynamics 365 provides a platform that unifies data infused with threaded intelligence. And Power Platform, at the bottom line, you can see the power components of the Power Platform. With the Power Platform, you can connect systems in a seamless, automated, and intelligent cloud ecosystem. And all these applications and integrity allows the customer extend and support their retail applications. So Dynamics 365 retail commerce, there are 5 main parts for the Dynamics 365 commerce. It's an end-to-end retail solution delivering unified commerce across all channels, and encompassing sales, mobility, intelligence, and productivity to help retailers and workers achieve more in a cloud-first and mobile-first way. So, Kevin, it was my, last presentation, last slide of my presentation, and it's time to bring this presentation to a close. So, thank you so much having me, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Umut. Much appreciated. Thank you. Very informative presentation. So we'll be talking about facility management in retail right now. Up to now, we talk about different parts of the technologies in retail. And let's talk about facility management. Before I hand it over to Sam, I'll just share some brief background information as a start. So one of the important things about facility management is being able to put together three things: man, machine, and material. And one of the technologies that we put together is called BEAM, that is for facility management, and that's what Sam will be demonstrating on a high level. And it is basically consists of two major modules. One is for asset maintenance, personnel, and spare part management. Another part is for purchasing and after sales management, as well as dashboard. So this is the technology that we have been developing since 1998. And one of the good things about this system is that it is open for communicating other technologies. That may be an IoT device, that may be a manufacturing execution system, that may be a CRM system, or any ERP system, basically to pull and push data. The idea is to have an integrated management system for companies to use together without double entry. That is basically the idea. The main benefit here is that actually savings in terms of maintenance operations, because retail organizations are they also have assets as in they have boilers, heaters, they have AC units, they have other equipment and machinery that they have in their buildings, and they need to also maintain the building, by the way. So that is actually a task, an important task, to make the location look good, the ambience look good, and to make the customers actually motivated to continue shopping there. So in that sense, facility management is very important for retail industry. That is why we put this together. So what we're gonna do is talking about the BEAM. I'd like to hand it over to Sam. Sam can show us maybe on a very high level how one can manage asset and maintenance operations in retail industry. Sam, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's make you the presenter. Okay, great.
Okay. And can you see my screen?
Yes, you have 10 minutes, and I'll let you know when 5 minutes is left. Thank you, Sam.
Sure. Thank you, Kevin. So thank you for joining this webinar, and this is Sam at Bimser International. So this is the home screen of BEAM, and you can find all the ranges showing you the real-time data in a scorecard and in a table and also in a pie chart. So it's helped you to keep monitoring the performance and KPI of your company. And considering the top left widget, it is different location of your company. So you can see the real-time data will change accordingly depending the command or the location that is selected in this widget. Okay. So it's give you an overview like how they're doing, how much cost for the maintenance for different location. And on the top left, this is the main menu of BEAM. So you can find all the available modules here. So first of all, let us get into the asset module. So right here, I can find the graphical asset tree so that you can upload the blueprint or the floor plan of your store or retail store or location and pinpoint the asset or facility that you have on this floor plan. So you can move your cursor and find the basic information of this particular asset. For example, like the refrigerators or the HVAC machine, the HVAC system, and you can click and create a work request right on this map or this graphical asset tree. Okay, and once they are under maintenance operation, they will turn into red as the color, which means it is under maintenance and out of function. So right here in this module, you can also find the asset tree here, which helped you to get a basic understanding how the asset is arranged or located in different locations. So these are all the locations that we have in this demo environment, and you can assign your particular asset to this location, and you can find what machineries or equipment or facilities is in this location. Also, we can combine two different assets to perform a single task, and all the maintenance or task that assigned it to the parent's asset, it will be applied to the dependent asset as well. And by the way, there's no limit in this hierarchy form or in this hierarchy view of the asset tree. So let's see what you can enter in BIM. So saying we have different assets, and you can enter the information like the name, the serial number, the brand, and also the barcode number, and also the buying price. Some more information like you can assign the maintenance team, which is responsible to take care of all the maintenance operation that is assigned to this asset, and record the legitimate proceedings information like insurance or inspection, upload the picture of your asset, and upload the handbook or instruction as a supporting document to this asset. And in all the modules in BIM, you can find the reporting tool, which allows you to create over 10,000 ready-made reports. So you can generate your report right in BIM and set up some condition to your report and prepare it. So your data will be shown in a pie chart or in a table. And also you can export this report into different file formats like PDF, image, or Excel for sharing with any responsible parties. And right here, instead of generating this report every single time you need it, actually you can schedule this report to be sent by BIM automatically. So, and under this configuration, you will receive this report in your email inbox every day at 9 in the morning. And in BIM, in order to make sure your facilities is at the best condition, so that once there is any unplanned breakdown comes up to your facilities or asset, you can generate your work requests here, which you can fill in a fast request form and request for maintenance services or operation to your asset. And all the work requests will be sent to this work order pool, which are mostly handled by the management.
Hello, Sam.
Or the responsible party. Yes.
Hi,
Kevin.
this is Kevin. You have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Sure. Operated by the management and the responsible parties for the maintenance operation. So in this work order function, that you can schedule the planned start date and end date for the maintenance operation, and also assign the responsible person to carry out this maintenance operation, as you can see right here. So you can pick and choose from the calendar, set up the date, and assign it to certain responsible employees, and define the material that will be used by for this maintenance operation, and all the costs will be calculated automatically by BIM. And in BIM, in this module, you can also schedule your preventive maintenance, which you can set up the date or the next time, the time period that you want to have the next maintenance operation, in order to keep your asset at the best condition and avoid any unplanned breakdown. So right here, you can set up the date, or we can set up by some counter readings, for example, based on the temperature, vibration, production, and so on. And in BIM, you can also find the material module, as known as the spare parts module. And similar to the asset module, you can record or save different information for your spare parts, like the name, the serial number, the brand, and the picture and document, which is coming up to the screen. 1 second, excuse my internet speed. Okay, 1 second. Okay, right here, the material. Okay, it's coming up right here. Yes, great. So as I mentioned, you can save different information like the name, the brand, a serial number, barcode number, and so on. And also set up the warehouse parameters, which allow BIM to keep checking if the quantity of this particular spare part is if it's reached the maximum stock level and also the safety stock level in order to keep your inventory at the optimum level and save your inventory costs. And finally, we have the personnel module, as known as skill management module, which allows you to save the information and the skill set of your employees. So you can set up the shift and the location they are working at, and some more personal information like address, education, and work experience. Those can be recorded in BIM as well. And it's come to the end of my demonstration. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated for the brief demonstration. All right, so let's take a look at our questions. We have some questions. We received them in chat box. Some of them we received earlier. So let's go over them and then we address them one by one. So one of the questions is about, this question is for venue. There are many different priorities as to follow products and trace products of ours. So what should be the focus area for any retail store?
So for any retail store, in my view, I think the best way to start is how to focus on the customer experience, which Umut also explained very well, connected customer experience. Once we define that, and if we are able to attract customers, then you sell other services and other products. But I think the primary focus is to transform a customer experience in store so that the customer willing to come back to the store to experience that. I think that should be the primary focus, and then expand your strategy into other areas like supply chain, traceability, and all the other things.
Thank you, Vinny. So one of the questions is about BIM. Is there any mobile app available for us to use BIM for facility management? Sam?
Yes, that's a nice question. So mobile application is available for BIM, and it is available for Android and iOS device. So once you download it from the Play Store or the App Store, so that you can connect to BIM with entering the information of your server connection. So you can find the same data that you can see in your web browser, since they are coming from and going to the same database. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Sam. We also have a question for Umut. Umut, so there are different technologies in Microsoft Dynamics part, and you also addressed them briefly in your presentation. So the question is, how can we simplify daily store operations by using the technologies that you mentioned?
Thank you, Kevin. For daily store operations, for store employees and managers, Dynamics 365 Commerce simplifies daily tasks and speeds up end-of-day activities and eliminates lots of manual processes. This solution helps managers easily manage their shifts and payroll, their reports, orders and inventory in a single application. And it's also enables store employees to complete their training faster and boost their productivity with role-tailored layouts. And in Dynamics 365 Commerce, there are different layouts, and they are tailored specifically for each position, which ultimately leads to better productivity and faster service.
Thank you, Umut. One of the questions actually for Venu. Venu, you mentioned it actually earlier in your presentation, but I think it's worth mentioning again if that's okay for you. How should a tailor approach to the digital transformation?
Yes. So I think in the beginning you put it the right way, where digital transformation is a mix of several things: strategy, technology, what technology to choose, and then also the different parts of transformation: your manufacturing process, your supply chain, your distribution, and then in the end the retail. Now, if you look at all these aspects, it won't be one single thing that would solve all of it, right? So you have to really pick your complete end-to-end, where you want to go and how you want to go, and then deploy phase by phase these technology layers. And it could be Dynamic 365, and I saw the very good end-to-end solution at the enterprise level provided by Dynamic 365, and then BIMX, which also showed like how to do the asset management, how to track them, how to efficiently manage them, and then where I showed how to manage your supply chain intelligence and how to alter your customer experience. So this is where it has to be a layered approach and a phased approach to pick your technology step by step and then deploy them end to end so that it can scale and it can transform your retail experience to the customer.
Venu, thank you so much. Much appreciated. I mean, that's the challenge for many companies adopting digital transformation in different industries.
Yes.
That is also the case in retail as we see it. And we see it on daily basis. We also see in the questions as well. So much appreciated. Thank you for your insights. Let's see. I think we addressed all the questions. What I like to do is I like to remind you about our YouTube channel. You can visit our YouTube channel in Digital Transformation Club USA, and you can visit our previous recordings as to our previously performed webinars from experts just like today. And we have coming webinars, and we invite you to register them on Eventbrite page that you registered today. And I like to thank our attendees. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated. And I'd like to thank our panel. Venu, thank you so much. Umut, Sam, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your informative presentations. Very educational. Thank you. What we do is we keep the contact information on the screen at the moment. If you like to ask questions later on to our panelists, if you like to continue this conversation, we definitely welcome it. Feel free to contact us. And as for our coming webinars, we also welcome you. We encourage you to register, and we look forward to seeing you in our coming webinars. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Kevin.